Okay, hey everybody. My name is Colin Wilcox with Extraordinary Concepts. We put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. And today we have some interesting topic we're going to be talking about. It's ads, I like to say, as you saw on the thumbnail. It's AI digital strategies. So I don't want to waste too much time. Let's get right into it. There's going to be all kinds of stuff, and AI is scaring a lot of people. And hopefully by the end of this seminar, phase one or episode one, there's another episode which is the digital world, and that'll be in another video that I'm going to be doing after this. So we're going to get into the artificial intelligence or AI. I am a leader in AI, which is applying innovation. So let's get some stuff going on here and get you all excited. That's right. As you can see, my name again is Colin Wilcox, an AI leader in the AI space. Which is applying innovation. As you can see, all my accomplishments. I've done all this within 2021 and 22. I was very busy for quite some time. Actually, not some time, only a couple of years. But what you see here is actually a fake. I'm sorry, I lied. It's artificial intelligence, and we created that through that. So anyway, let's continue. Let me try to continue with this. There we go. Again, Colin Wilcox, Extraordinary Concept. Don't want to waste, you already saw that. You saw it in my hat. And I also introduced myself that way. So here we go. Ads. So AI digital strategy. That's what this seminar is all about. And we're going to get into that whole thing. And with this seminar, we're going to be talking about four things. We're going to probably run into a lot more than four things, but what is all the hype over AI? And, so why is everybody talking about AI and, the magnitude of it? When is it all happening? Curious to say, okay, so when is this all happening? When should I get ready to, take this on? Why should I care as a restaurant? A lot of people are wondering, why should I care as a restaurant? I'm a restaurant. What is AI going to do for me? And what should I do? And then, okay, so we're going to be getting into all these kind of topics. Excuse me, get a horse. This is a lot talking on these things. I love my coffee. So what is your strategy as a restaurant operator? I really, really hope you're thinking about a strategy. The world is going to be changing from 2000 to 2005. The world was crazy with COVID. Now from 2025 to 2030, there's going to be a lot of changes coming in. We have to have a strategy. And if we have a strategy, then we'll be a lot more prepared and we'll be very, very successful, especially for those who don't have a strategy. This is what's happening, everybody. AI. So it's off. It's off and running. So just an example for every month that goes by, it's equivalent to 1 year of growth in technology. So every month that just passes is equivalent to 1 year of growth. It's exponentially growing. It's going out of control. This AI stuff is out of control. So don't be the guy in the back, wait up, make sure you guys are, really paying attention to it. And hopefully I can give you some insights on this seminar, episode one. Today, we're going to try to learn, prepare, and grow. That's important for us. Very important for us is to learn, and then we're going to prepare for it, and hopefully we can grow from it. We are in a tech crunch. That's me in 2008, and back then, 2007, 8, it wasn't such a crunch. When all these people in this room don't even have cell phones. They have cell phones, but they don't have the iPhones. It didn't even come out, I think, till 2007 or 8 it came out. But they're all enjoying themselves. They're not on their phone, and it's actually packed, So I'm not sure who is watching this, but hopefully my audience was wondering if I was actually in front of you, I would ask you, what is this logo? Does anybody on my audience have any idea what this logo is? Leave a comment below, and you can say what the logo is, and I can hopefully respond to that. This is typically the answer when I ask anybody what that logo is. And when I go to restaurants and bars especially, I'm asking them, do you know anything about this logo? And that's one of the looks. And this is another look, no clue. He has no clue about what that logo is. But I ask another person, yes, this guy happens to know. Yes, it is. You are correct. You are a winner. It is ChatGPT. That's right. It's an LLM, which is a large language model. It's probably the most popular LLM at this time, and there's 5 or more right now that are competing with, 5 or more that in the United States that are really top notch, and then a couple in China that are competing, but we'll get into that. So when I usually ask people, how are you using Chat GPT. I'll use an artificial intelligence. It says, well, I have it rewrite emails for me, or I do maybe my resume. It can do my resume, and that's about all I use it for. And this is what I use it for. I use it every day, and I use it for a bunch of stuff, and I'm constantly testing it, and it's getting more and more valuable to me every day. I don't know really what I'd do with it without it, actually. I know what I would do with it. I just would do all that kind of stuff. So 5 years, you got to think about this, people. 5 years, like what's going to happen in the next 5 years? That's not a long time. COVID was 5 years ago. So what is going to happen in the next 5 years? And it's not going to be like in 5 years, what's going to happen. It's right now, happening right now, and exponentially happening right now. So things are going to go so fast. You're going to spin. People just can't comprehend how fast these technologies are coming and what's happening. So again, we got to strategize, and I don't want to scare you. I think the first part of this whole seminar is going to be pretty scary. It scares me. It scares a lot of people. But at the end of the day, if you have knowledge, knowledge is power, and if you understand how to use the technology, you'll feel good. You'll feel actually have a superpower. So the professionals, they say within the next 5 years, there could be up to 100 years of technology. So the past 100 years of technology is going to be equivalent to the next 5 years. That's some substantial growth. Like I said, exponential. This is the fastest technology. Any technology person will say, "Man, I've never seen anything grow so fast." So we are actually in an industrial revolution. There's been several industrial revolutions over time, but this is probably one of the bigger ones for sure, and it's the AI revolution. So we're in it. Here it is, and we can't do anything about it. So let's embrace it, learn, and be more powerful because of it. Right behind me on that slide, it says AI. So that thing with the little brain is AI. So AI will become a utility. The cell phone is a utility. We all have it. We don't, we spend a month thing for it. Water, electricity, internet, gas, all that. It's all a utility. So AI will also be a utility. And that means it's going to be in everything. So multiple things, not multiple things, probably. They say everything will have AI in it. So that could be, you could have a camera. For example, you buy a camera, you put it on a tripod and you just talk to your camera and say, hey, make sure you take a great picture of that. Okay, make it cinematic and I don't know, add some lighting to it. There's not going to be any lighting around, but the camera will take that picture, no problem for you. Or you'll probably have it in your cell phone. So what's the magnitude? Everybody's curious to say, like, what is the magnitude of this thing? Is it really that big, or is it just a really, really good application, or a program? Well, let's just take a quick look at the magnitude of this kind of thing. This is something that's never, ever been seen before in the history of the United States. You go into this thing right here. And so this is the inauguration, and so as you can see, the Trump's immediate family is in the front row. And so that's the immediate family. And then the next row is probably his next family, which is actually all the big tech people. So those 5 people just sitting in those seats, their business is worth $12 trillion combined. So those people, their businesses are worth $12 trillion. And they're saying to themselves, my AI is bigger than your AI. So they're really pushing to get this AI stuff out. And then you got Elon Musk over here. Excuse me. He's wondering where Sam Altman, who is the actual CEO of ChatGPT, he's wondering where Sam is because he's kind of got a little, tiff with Sam Altman right now because Elon Musk funded Sam Altman to start OpenAI. And OpenAI was actually open. It's called Open for Open Source, and it's a nonprofit. And Elon's kind of pissed because he's now trying to make it closed source and for-profit business. So this is one of these competitive things. So he's kind of a little upset at Sam Altman. Hey, it's Sam Altman, so Sam Altman's right there with the old prez. And he's also with the CEO of Oracle and the CEO of SoftBank. They're both hanging out. And they said, hey, hey, Mr. Trump or President Trump, we're actually going to commit $500 billion into AI investment with Sam over here. We're going to use that to do some data centers. So count on us for 500 bill. Excuse me. And then we've got this. So like I was saying, ChatGPT or OpenAI has some competitors, and there's more than that. I think in the United States right now, there's 5. These are 5 of the major ones. Meta is Facebook, so that's Mark Zuckerberg. And then we got Gemini, which is Google. We got Anthropic, which is Amazon. And we got Grok, which is Elon Musk. So those are the big guys. And then what happened here is that they made a law where you couldn't actually sell computer chips that actually train these things to China. So China, they wanted to make sure China wasn't, getting on top of all this artificial intelligence and really kind of, making us nervous and to try to catch up. So they thought they were about 2 years behind with all this technology. But then, boop, DeepSeek popped in. I'm like, where did this come from? So DeepSeek is actually an LLM out of China, which is equivalent to ChatGPT. And so China says, F you, I'm going to do a little workaround and try to figure out how we can kind of do this kind of thing without all your chips. So they ended up doing it. Actually, you had to end up doing it for substantially less money. And then they got a Manus, they got all kind of stuff. So it's on, man. It's on like Donkey Kong. The competition's going. So here they are. They're out of the gate. And everybody is running as fast as they can to try to keep up. All the big corporations. And again, I think this first half of this whole thing is going to scare you. It scares me. And this is something that none of us are prepared for, none of us asked for, and it's just happening. And I want to make sure that you're very clear that I am powered by AE, which is authentic expression. I've never experienced this. I'm not a tech buff, but I have to, also embrace what's in front of us and make sure I'm powerful, so I can, help my family and help other people with what's actually in front of us. So this is another example of the magnitude. So this is one of Elon Musk's data centers. I believe it's in Texas. And he built this, which is crazy, in 18 months. And when I say it's crazy, it's not like this. It's not like a house. This thing is 3 times the size of the Pentagon, and you can fit about 174 football fields in it. So this is crazy, crazy construction. All going to be just like an enormous, giant computer chip. That's the brains of the robots, or that you're going to be seeing walking around. And there's so many more data centers that are being popped up. So, you got Bill over here. Bill Gates said, "Hey, I'm the picture too. Don't forget about me." I'm like, and so how are we going to power these data centers? Well, let's just fire up 3 Mile Island again. Get that bad boy all fired up. So that's what he's doing here. He's I think signed a 20-year lease with 3 Mile Island to start it back up. Let's get going again. Excuse me. So it's here, people. So one of those questions are like, when's it going to get here? Like, when should I really be concerned about it? It's here, and it's been here, So, this little thing in your room. I don't know if anybody has it. I know I have one in my kids' rooms. They're always yelling at Alexa, Alexa, do this, Alexa, do that, Alexa, turn my lights on, Alexa, set my alarm, Alexa, what's that song? They're always yelling at it. But that's artificial intelligence. Netflix is artificial intelligence, Facebook's artificial intelligence. When you're talking and your phone's listening in on it, it's all artificial intelligence. So it's already here. We just got to embrace it. It's not like, hey, I just want to turn time back and go back to the caveman days. Let's just do that. Well, although you could do it, because I have a friend named Donnie Dust, that has paleo tracks on YouTube. He's very famous in what he does, and he teaches people to go into the bush. Says, take them into the bush, and that's it. You and your clothes, and they walk in there, and you got to figure out how to survive. And he does a great job at it. Shout out to Donnie. So here's some AI. You're just waving you're waving your little wand there, your little credit card wand at machines, and it picks it up. Some more AI. You're going to be just talking to menu boards, and it's going to talk back. It'll talk in multiple different languages to you, and be really good at taking orders. I mean, this is all right now, people. So this is like happening right now. You got visual inventory where you can just sort of scan over a shelf, and it will actually take inventory for you. Go into your POS systems, do things like that. You don't have to count inventory anymore. And I'm seeing that there's going to be cameras in your space. It's just they'll know when you sold a burger, and they'll know everything. You won't have to do any inventory or ordering. It will just sort of know, like, to watch the food come out of the walk-in cooler, watch the food be prepared, watch the food go off, watch the deliveries come in. It will do all that kind of stuff. So I bet you that's going to even be before 2030 that just all the stuff is happening. You just approve, like, yeah, buy that. So there's floating hologram menus. It's going to be basically touching this air. Those are kind of neat things. And then this is kind of neat. So also, part of AI and part of my conversation, and like I said from the beginning, I'm an expert in AI, and I've been doing this for 40 plus years. And when I say AI, it's apply innovation. I'm always looking at the new things. I'm always trying to create new things. I'm an inventor, and we're always trying to implement. I mean, not artificial intelligence, but any kind of innovation into your space. You got to be innovative, and a lot of hospitality people are innovative with their drinks, with their food, with their presentation, with their layouts, so on. So this is just another innovation. It's a hologram, so you can touch the little food items on the little hologram cutting board. And that guy will come over and grab the items, put them in his cart, and then prep them, and then put it on the plate, and then that actual menu item will come out to you from the kitchen. And then we got this guy, or guy, gal, whatever we want to call it. I guess we should probably just call it a robot because that's what it is, and it's Flippy. So Flippy is obviously flipping a burger right now, but Flippy can do fries, he can do burgers, he can do all kinds of other fried foods, and you're going to see more and more of this kind of stuff being implemented in kitchens. Definitely with the fast food chains. So fast food's probably going to have people taking orders and people doing Flippies and so on. Whoops, let's go back. So here is a completely automated kitchen, full entrees. So you could be a customer and just order it on your phone, and then your food items will drop into these bins, and these bins heat up and spin, and they cook all the food. They know exactly what the food is, how much the portion. It's almost like a paint machine in Home Depot or something like that. If you see it drop all the, this different color paints to mix paint, and then it mixes it up, it heats it up, it cooks it, drops it into a plate, and then sends it off to you with no human contact whatsoever. I believe that's in Boston. You can probably go see where that is in Boston. And then we got this right here, the old bartender, makes all drinks, bartender. So this is on a cruise ship, and you just order a drink, and boom, makes all the kind of drinks. I'm sure it's really good at making sure they're all portioned out and so on. The one question I think, well, obviously, is having a conversation with it. So that will probably, come around where it might have amazing jokes. It can tell you all kinds of stuff. It probably can dance in front of you, do all kinds of things. And but I don't know if it will know if you're overserved. I don't know if it might scan your eyes and see if you're drunk. Who knows? But this is on a cruise ship, so this stuff is around. And again, I'm an analog human being. There's nothing better than human to human. And with us learning and embracing this kind of technology, we'll be able to enhance the human experience and also make sure that we are human to human as often, as long, and as forever. And so we got these guys here, these are the runners and bussers. You'll see those popping up in restaurants here and there, and some kids, and the problem is that the younger generation, like my kids and so on, I have an 11 and a 9, and they're going to see it and like, oh, this is just cool. I love it. It's just going to be a normal thing for them. And they're going to see, humanoid robots walking around and, like C3PO. And it's all going to be normal to them. It's like just a normal world. And, as sad as it is sad. I feel it's sad. I remember the Roadhouse days with my restaurants where, there was, we didn't even have POS systems. It was all cash. And I don't go as far back as the horses days, but, it was definitely, it was quite a time back in those days running a restaurant and bar. Anyway, so here it is again. So you got a pretzel on the left and a pretzel on the right. They're both the exact same pretzel, but the one on the right's a little cleaned up through artificial intelligence. And this is just something that you can do as a tool. If customers like post something on Google, and says, "Oh, there's a pretzel, and here's my pretzel," and you just want to say, "Hey, I'll take that pretzel, clean it up, and repost it." And says, it's it's fancy photography. You taking the job away from a photographer to come in and take that picture without absolutely. And I'm sorry, and I don't necessarily feel good about it, but that's what's happening. And that's what's going to happen. And we need to embrace it. We need to sort of understand it. We don't need to like it, but this is the competition is going to be doing. You're not going to have any idea what's a AI generated image or not an AI generated image. If I just sent that out straight without you seeing the comparison, you'd probably think that's just a really good looking picture of a pretzel. And it is a really good looking picture of a pretzel. But also, professional photographers will come in and take some shots, and then they'll go back to their studio, colorize it, change some of the lighting, make sure it's perfect. So we're just doing that with AI, and it's automated. And then again, so here's like just a chunk of meat, somebody had on their plate from maybe a Google image, like, "Ooh, look at my fillet." I just take AI and say, "Hey, make that fillet, be replated and put it on a nice place so I can just present that to customers." it's still my meat. I still cooked it. It's the product. It's just it's generated. Is it fake? Yeah, I guess if you want to call it fake, call it fake. But I'm marketing and promoting. It's also if you're hiring $1,000, photographer to come in and take that same shot and do whatever they need to do to make that all look good. It is what it is, people. And we can fight it all we want, and at the end of the day, it will win. And so I don't know what to tell you. That's the end of the day, it's going to win. Here's another thing, and you'll be able to start to identify it. You can do it for sure now. I can because I've been, involved in artificial intelligence for, 2.5 years now. And you can see, so same thing, you're taking a Google image and you're just having the picture and then, you say, make it a better plate presentation. So, that's what it did. But here's like the lemon's too yellow, but everything else is looking pretty good. At a quick glance, and people don't even have attention span. You'll see that in the next video that I provide, which is called "It's the Digital World," and the challenges we have in the digital world. But um, people aren't paying attention like you think. They're not staring at a page. You like flip them like, ooh, like a fish and chips. It looks good. Next thing, ooh, 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 and by the time they scroll past 4 items, they have no idea what they just looked at. So here's an interesting one. So I had AI do this. So they posted a selfie on my site, and I just said, okay, they look like they're having a lot of fun. I really like what they're doing there, but it'd be wonderful if I could actually get them before that, clean up the table, get all the glassware out of there, and then put the brunch items out that they had. So boop, so AI did that, and I think the picture is actually way better than the one they took. But you can see as if you kind of look at it closely that they're a little older. I'm sure they wouldn't be approved of how it looks, but at a glance, if I didn't see the one on the left, I would say that's a great picture. Looks like they have a good meals and a lot of fun in front of them. But if you really, again, if you really kind of study it and want to be like, really try to identify AI, if you're really looking at it, you can sometimes find it. And one thing that I find really funny, and if I had anything I could give away, I'd do it, but the obvious one is like the thing is up there, and as you see the fingers on the Bloody Mary to the left, there's little fingers stuck to that glass. Now, I don't know if it was a Bloody Mary with fingers or without fingers, but somebody's obviously asked for fingers in their Bloody Mary, so that's that. And then and then I just asked it, say, hey, make these males. So it could be like, hey, the husbands are down below. And that's kind of creepy, but take those females and make them males, and so now these the gentlemen are down below. And another thing that you can see as far as AI goes, the fingers are still on the Bloody Mary, but also the umbrella post is starting to move a little closer to the edge of the table, and you need to make sure that that's not on the edge of the table. Excuse me. So why should I care? Okay, I'm a restaurant guy. Why should I care? I'm not going to use AI. I cook food. I get people to come in, and that's what I do. So what's the big deal? I'm not even going to pay attention to this video. I don't care. I'll see you in 2030, and everything will be just the same as it is. This is why you should care. See that thing in that that device? I call that the digital door, and it's real, people, and you have no control of it. To this day, 90% of the population will look through their phone and check out your digital landscape, well, and see, whether they want to go into your restaurant or not. They'll be right outside your restaurant in your parking lot and say, hey, let's check out the menu. Let's see what they're all about. Let's see what kind of digital presence they have on here. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look that great. Let's go on somewhere else. So unfortunately, that's what it is. This is change, and we have no control of it. So all the things we're going to be talking about the circles, and we talk about circles again in my second presentation, episode 2 of the digital world. But that's a digital door, and that's the first door that they go through. They go through that door before they go through your analog door. So you've got to be very cautious and aware of that. The digital world is real, and as you look with it, as humans touch it and look with their own fingers, that's them. But then once you're going to be talking to your device, it's going to be AI agents, and there is an AI agent. So AI agents, anytime you talk to a device, an AI agent will take on that voice to text, and it will provide or do the task that you ask it to do. And so you're not really going to be, it's essentially, you're not really going to be marketing to humans. You're going to be marketing to AI agents. But we'll get into that. I told you, like I said at the beginning, this is the scary part, and there is, at the end of this whole presentation, there's some nice stuff too. Okay, like we said, proceed to the next door. So that's you, and then you get your agent. So your agent's looking over the digital world, and now they said, okay, I think they're good. Proceed to the next door. So now they get to go into your door. Isn't that wonderful? Huh? So yes, there's going to be a process of how people actually get into your door, which is sad. They go through the digital door, the digital experience first, and once they're on your door, and you develop regulars and do what I call them more timers, get people in there often. Then the digital stuff, and you'll see again for the AI digital strategy in episode 2. I don't want to tell you too much about it, so I get you too excited. But we actually, talk about a strategy, how to combat artificial intelligence, the digital world, and how to build business and keep your business without the worries of all the stuff that we're about to talk about. So now there's actually 4, but I have 3 here. There's business models. I think last year there was only 2 business models. And the business models last year was B2B, which is business to business, B2C, which is business to customers, and B2A now. This is the third, business to agents. And then they're even talking about a fourth, which is agent to agent. But the business to agent is the first door, the digital door, and you're going to have your agents then go on and try to find the restaurants. So not to be too confusing, but that's what's going on. So what is a digital agent? You're going to hear that a lot. I mean, if you're paying attention to artificial intelligence, this is the year of the agents. And a digital agent is an AI-powered system that autonomously performs tasks, processes information, and interacts in a digital environment. So here is Bob, your digital agent, and he's interacting with the digital environment, or some people call it digital hospitality, which I like to call it too. So he's going to go out and he's just going to, scan the internet. No, he's not going to just look at your restaurant. He'll look at thousands of restaurants, and he sees patterns, and the patterns might be, a lot of comments, a lot of shares, a lot of likes for a certain page. It's got good video, got all that stuff. So it's going to search for patterns. And it's going to base his patterns on what you actually like. So your likes, and it's a simple mathematic thing for them. So they're going to scan, and they're going to come back with some suggestions on, what they found. So the digital landscape and so your digital footprint is very important. And it's very intimidating. It gives you anxiety. But again, I don't know if I want to give you all the good stuff at the end, but at the very end, AI will help you. So here we are, here's the customer over here to the right in this circle, and the customer has its agents, and the agents go over into the digital world and checks things out. It's going to go over and look things over and make sure things are appropriate according to what you like or don't like. And then it's going to come back and say, hey, hey, Colin, this is what I recommend. Agent Bob comes back and says, this place looks really good. What do you think? And I'd say, oh, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Bob. Let's do that one. Now, at this time today, 40% of the population will actually choose the suggestions from their AI agents. And I know I'm saying AI agents. I don't have an AI agent, but you do. Google, if you say Google Maps, like where's a good margarita around here? You're talking to a Google agent. The Google agent goes and scans the internet and then comes back and gives you a suggestion. So at this time, there are agents, just like I was talking about, like Bob. And, 40% of the population at this time today will actually pick the suggestion of that agent. So here we go. AI revolution is here, and now you're starting to see products pop up, the Galaxy AI. So that phone is, AI. And like they'll say AI is to the edge, and I'm not going to get into all this technology. This is just stuff that I've been sort of beaten into my brain. So I'm learning about it. But so these phones are going to be, you're going to be talking to the phone. It's going to be much more AI friendly. And not only that phone, every single thing that's going to start to pop up is going to start to have AI in it. And people are going to sort of like expect it. I'm like, well, I like a phone, but does it have AI? I want it to have AI. So here's this guy talking to his new AI phone, or just talking to, an agent. And he's saying, before we go, I want nothing under 4.5 ratings. I want gluten-free options. I want nothing over, nothing too expensive. I like family friendly, and entertainment's a plus if they can have that as well. So at this point right now, voice to text, By next year, will be 50% of the U.S. in the United States will be doing voice to text. So half the country will be doing voice to text by next year. And what that actually is, it's a 500% increase. So Bob takes in all this information that you just said to him, and he's going to take in more information. He doesn't forget anything. And he'll say, okay, no problem, Colin or Joe or Bill, whatever your name is. Let's go check things out, you know? So he'll jump in and he's going to talk to other agents in the old agent world. And he might talk to Uber Eats or DoorDash or Open Table. Is all those things are available for agents with Bob, shooting the shit with him. And he's going to go to restaurants. In the restaurants, he's going to check. Oh, this one has this one has this. And like a restaurant say, hey, what about me? I'm like, oh, why aren't you paying attention to me? Well, might not be set up for AI. AI agents might not pay attention to you. And then the other ones that says, I don't even need AI. I'm just going to do what I do all the time. I've been doing it for 50 years, and you see closures. And I'd have to say, there's a lot of restaurants. I've been involved in some restaurants that have been around 30, 40 years, 50 years, and you see it's sad. You see them closing the doors because they're just not they're not adapting to the digital world. And trust me, I don't like the digital world. I am an analog human being. I was a pig farmer. That's where it started out with. My family, graphic designers, they did everything by hand and drew. My brother was an artist for The Simpsons. When you actually drew the actual characters. So here you'll see on this slide as well, by 2030, 80% of social media interactions for restaurants will be by AI agents. So 80% of the interactions through social media, hear that, is going to be AI agents. So only 20%, so who am I actually talking to and advertising to? You're going to be advertising and talking to and preparing for agents. So this is Filter Island, I like to call it, and Bob is in charge of Filter Island or whatever your agent's going to be called. And basically Filter Island is all the things that I personally like, and this is what I do. And anything I don't like is not on the island. You're not welcome. Sorry. So this is where reviews, can matter a lot, So a lot of people like, I'll take the highest reviews if possible. Let's go to that restaurant first. Anything less than that, we can start working our way down. So if you don't have good reviews, you might not even be on the island. And according to this gentleman here on this island, they want anything over 4.5. So 4.4s, they don't even exist, just according to this guy. And unfortunately, he probably doesn't really even care. So reviews do matter, so we have to pay attention to that. But again, at the very end of this video, you'll see how AI can actually help you with that. Excuse me, I love my coffee. So we're getting into digital cars. The more cars are starting to grow, the more it's becoming digital. So, you can be talking to your car. Again, these are all agents. You'll talk to your car. And then cars are going to not even need to be prompted. I think Tesla might have that now. If you're just driving, you'll see a map just, driving around and like, this is where our locations are. And then you might be pulling past a restaurant and you might just see it come up, this restaurant here is a 4.0, and I'm like, oh man, okay. 4.0. Let's just keep driving. I'm not that hungry. Let's keep going. Oops. And then we got, Mark over here. Is that the next Yeah. We got Mark, and Mark is creating his, Meta glasses, which are very powerful. They're actually looking, pretty good, pretty slick right now too. And so these glasses are AI powered. They're videos. They're just really creepy. They're just powerful things. And you're going to have people come into restaurants have no idea that they're wearing these kind of glasses, so they can videotape. I know. Hey, I said the first half of this whole thing is going to be kind of scary and spooky, and I don't know what to tell you. No, this is what it is, and I just want to be transparent and share you guys what's really going on here. It's important for us in the hospitality industry to really kind of, get on this. I mean, don't sit around and say, well, let's see what's next year. I have a tech guy down the street. He might know what's going on. He uses ChatGPT. No, we got to stay focused here. We got to really prepare for what's going on. And if I'm, and I don't want to scare you, and hopefully by the end of this video, you won't be scared and you'll be empowered, but just, go online and start looking things up and you'll see. So anyway, so Mark's got his AI glasses. And so, AI glasses are going to be communicating. You're going to be seeing things and walking around. And this could be a view. I mean, I think this is actually a view through AI glasses. And he's going to be just walking the streets with his friends, and he's going to say, hey, Gio's Pizza is a 4.3. And then his AI might say, hey, there's a 4.5 up ahead. You can keep moving. You don't have to worry about this one. I'm like, okay, let's go. Hey, guys, we're going to go keep going. There's a better restaurant up ahead that, fits more of my Filter Island. And then you're going to have this guy say, well, he doesn't have his glasses on right now because they're floating up into the top right. But he could have his meta glasses on, and he kind of looks a little upset about his meal. But he can, just take his glasses, look right at the meal, and say, hey, take a picture of this, this plate, and put it on Facebook, and give him, give him a 3.5 stars. This is disgusting, and they treated me like hell. So he just, without any effort whatsoever, he's just going to talk to his glasses. His glasses is going to take pictures of the actual plate, take pictures of things, and then post it on social media or post it on their Google reviews. So reviews are going to 10x, 5x, there's going to be a lot of reviews. So just to be able to manage those things is going to be challenging. And people might just do it just because it sounds fun. So there might be a wave of reviews where people are just going right at it. So we have to use AI, which is apply innovation, and maybe we make that something that's encouraging, where we're encouraging them to do that and give us 5-star reviews. But anyway, I mean, bottom line is don't suck, So all the things we say really still come down to the restaurant being a fabulous restaurant. This whole social media stuff, when you look really great on social media and then you suck in your restaurant, you're just tricking people. So we're going to be an autonomous world, and it's already slightly autonomous, and it's going to get more autonomous this year and more beyond. And it's not like going to trickle up, like I said in that video, the slide before, where it's so 1 month is a year's worth of technology, and if you can imagine that, like 1 month is a year's worth of technology. 2 months is 2 years. So in 10 months, it's like 10 years of technology. It's just coming. So here's an example. You can obviously talk right now to Alexa and say, hey, wake me up at 5 o'clock, or do this thing or do that thing. So there's going to be agents doing all kinds of stuff for us. And I don't know, we're probably just sleeping and drooling on ourselves because we really don't know how to do anything. So good news. Hey, we're at the good news part. I love my coffee. Don't mind me. Um, it's a lot of talking. I need some kind of, like my voice kind of sounds a little froggy. I don't know if it sounds sexy or just whatever it is, but my voice is a little clearer than this normally. So you're early. So the good news is you're early. So if you are doing this, you're early. But you are also late. You're later than I am, and you're later than Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or other people that are paying attention to this. But you're early. So it's good that you're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to take this serious. I got to really start to embrace what's going on here and not just let this thing fly by because, like I said, every month is a year of technology. So being early, so you can sort of prepare. Said, okay, I want to be the guy where all these agents come to me and pay attention to me. That's it. If I can do that, and if I can work that out, and if I'm, that could be my strategy where everything just comes to me and I'm packed all the time. I got my agents talking to other agents. I got all these kind of things going on, and everybody around me is envious. They're all closed. They're like, why is he always busy? Why am I always busy? Because I put the time into it. I put the time in right now, and I started to do it, and I started to think about applying innovation and applying AI. And I want you to get excited. I'm excited. I've been scared for a long period of time, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm an innovator, and that's what I do. So this is just another tool in my tool belt to innovate. So it doesn't necessarily be all AI. When we innovate, we do a lot of different things creatively. So get excited. And the impossible is now possible. Very, very, very possible. Something that you thought was never possible is possible. And you got to change your mindset. And that guy right there, the little agent on the right hand side saying, I can help, he can help. He's helped me. He's helped me. He's taught me. He's done a lot of things for me. Excuse me. Learn. That's what the first step is. Like, learn. Like, where do I start? You got to learn, man. You just got to learn. We got to start skilling ourselves up. Everybody's got to get new skills. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do new skills. I just want to do what I do all the time. I'm sorry, that's just not going to be the case. You're going to have to learn some skills. But again, like I said, AI can help. So, I mean, get a large language model. They're free. You can use the free versions. You can use the paid version. You can do whatever you want. But all I ask you out of this whole thing, if you do nothing, is start to play with it. Excuse me. Start to use it. Start to use AI. Start to sort of see how you communicate with it, what it does. The powers of it. It's kind of funky when you first start, using it, and you say, okay, just ask it a question. You just like you draw a blank. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I asked this thing. You can get, and then usually the questions are real simple, like, what's a Labrador Retriever? Simple questions like that. But this is like the advanced thing. And again, what you have to also know by using and playing when started, not all the answers are correct. So you got to change it. You got to check it, but you could ask your best friend and he'll give you an answer, and not all his answers are correct either. So it is what it is. So, and, so you want to learn how to communicate with it. That's starting to become easier and easier. The user interfaces for these things are becoming easier and easier. And then you want to challenge it. Excuse me. Let me just clear my throat. So I'm going to give you an example of challenging it. I don't, excuse me, I don't mind. I'm powered by AE, so you're not going to get any editing. Hopefully you don't like leave because I'm clearing my throat. I guess coffee probably wouldn't be the best thing to, make my throat not so froggy. But anyway, so you gotta challenge it, And so here's an interesting challenge that I had. So I'm like, all right, I just need to really test this thing, and I do it. I test it all the time. I really try to push it to its limit. And so this was one circumstance. I said, okay, Chat GPT, let's do voice to chat. I'm gonna, put you on voice to chat. I'm gonna put my AirPods in, and I want to do some role playing. And so I asked Chad. I said, "Listen, I'm going to approach my table. My parents, my family. They're here at the dinner table." And I said, "I want you guys to pretend we're in a restaurant, and I'm gonna challenge Chat GPT." So I said, "Chat, I want you to be a professional restaurant trainer. That trains waiters on how to work a restaurant table." And I don't want you. I just want you to listen. I don't want you to give me any critiques or anything like that until after I'm done servicing this table. When I'm done servicing this table, then we can talk about how well I did and so on. He says, "Okay, I got it. I'm ready." I said, "Okay, he's ready." So now I approach the table and I said, "Hey, hi, my name is Colin Wilcox. Welcome to Colin Wilcox's restaurant. How can I serve you guys today?" And then I had my wife and my daughter and son, and they're all giggly and stuff like that. And I said, "Oh, this is not going to be a good experience anyway." So, here and I want to just challenge the artificial intelligence, and I didn't want too much chaos, but that didn't happen. So I said, "What can I get you guys for drinks?" My wife is like, "I'll take a water with, no lime." And then my daughter said, "I'll do let me see, I'll do a Shirley Temple. I like Shirley Temples." And my son wanted a root beer. And I'm like, "Okay, do you want me to go over the specials?" Sure. Well, we got a mac and cheese special. We've got a salmon special for $12.95. We've got a Caesar salad. We got some chicken fingers. Those are our specials for today. What can I get you? And my wife says, "Oh, I'm like, and now it's starting to get all crazy. My kids are starting to giggle and they're starting to scream things and all that." I'm like, "Oh man, I just got to get the order and get out of here." So she ordered the salmon for $12.95, and my daughter was giggling. "I don't know, chicken fingers, mac and cheese. I don't know what I want. I'll take, I don't know, chicken fingers," and so on. So I'm like, "Okay, I'm just got to get out of there." So I get out of there, and now that I'm out of there, I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, this thing just failed me completely." And I said, "So, okay, hey, chat, here I am, and now I'm ready to talk to you about sort of how my experience was." He says, "Okay," and I said, "Well, the first question is, how did I do as a waiter?" And he says, "Well, you approach the table with confidence, and as soon as the people started taking orders, you started to lose a little confidence in your menus, and so you probably should work on that a little bit." And then I said, "Oh well, like I forgot. Well, like what did my wife order for food? I forgot what she ordered." They said, "Your wife ordered the special for $12.95. She ordered the salmon special for $12.95." And what did my son Wyatt? What did he get for a drink? And he's like, "Well, he ordered a root beer." I'm like, "Okay, thank you very much." So those are those moments. Those are the wow moments, and you're going to have them. You're going to have wow moments, and you really should push this stuff to really challenge it and train it. And you're going to see sometimes you'll push it now, and then 2, 3 months later, then you push it again on the same thing, and it just got it down. So this is the power of that kind of stuff. So that's a quick story on really challenging these things. And now we got to prepare people. So we got to prepare. And so preparing is doing what you're doing right now. You're actually engaged in something that can kind of, put an extra wrinkle in your brain and say, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm willing to learn and sort of skill up myself." So preparing. And then preparing is, excuse me, you want to prepare your restaurants, you want to prepare yourselves, or whatever the case is. And data is the gasoline to artificial intelligence. So like your POS system that has data, that's okay. That's pretty, data set is, a data set is a set of data that's organized. You might have your manuals and stuff, and some of those might be handwritten, or they might be like on a PDF file somewhere on a floppy disk. That wouldn't be good data. If you put bad data, you get bad, trash in, trash out. You get something good, you get something good out. So you want to make sure that you're sort of, starting to prepare and say, okay. And then artificial intelligence and all that can help you, organize data. That can help you rewrite manuals. It can help you put all that kind of stuff into place. So data is pretty important as far as starting to, structure yourself or prepare yourself if you want your operations to really autonomously run, where you can just focus as being a restaurant person. And that's the end of our goal at the end of this whole thing, is us just being restaurant people and letting the digital world do what the digital world does effectively for us and positively for us. So, I did a seminar not too long ago, and I walked around to restaurants, and trust me, I just, I'm not looking for anything here. I walked around with them, and I just, I want to embrace, I said, I'm like, I'm offering a seat at this seminar for free. You don't have to pay. So I went into this restaurant, and I said, I'm doing an AI and digital world seminar. And it's free, and I'd like to just offer a seat if you want me to save you one. And he's like, I don't want it. I'm like, wow, okay, that's not a problem. I'm just curious. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be involved in this seminar? He says, I just don't want anything from you. I'm like, I'm just told you it's free. You don't need to give me anything. It's free. And so this is that guy. He's an OAI guy. So here he is in his little car, and this is going to be him, if it's not already him. And he's just delivering his food to to the customers, coming by, and the guy, just coughing is like this, dump. And then his paperwork, he's probably overwhelmed with paperwork and stressed and all the kind of stuff the restaurants bring on you. I mean, man, just actually serving food and stuff like that is, it's a very small portion of the restaurant business. All this other mucky muck, crazy stuff, health inspectors and fire inspectors and, insurance and all the CPR, everything. That's that whole side, operations is crazy. And then, so this is him. This is the no AI guy. So he's no AI, and he's got no business either. So that's real. And a lot of the big tech people are saying, there's going to be two businesses: the ones that use AI and the ones that are out of business. Now, are they saying because they're big tech people? I don't know. I know I'm much more powerful now than I was before as a restaurant operator, and I feel very confident if I was plopped down beside another restaurant that I would dominate that area with all the technology and all the things that are available to me. It's just extreme, just extreme. So we do have to have a digital presence. There's not a question about it. We do have to have a digital presence, or we will go out of business. And then you got the AI guy. So there's, well, they could be guys and gals. I don't mean, by saying guys or gals, it's AI people. So this AI restaurateur is like, yeah, I'm going to embrace AI. So here he is. He's delivering his food. And, that's the difference, a substantial difference between not doing it and doing it and incorporating AI. And that's applying innovation. It's not just artificial intelligence. You got to think different, think outside the box, and be creative. And then artificial intelligence. So again, it can be your thought partner. So it can give you ideas on how to be, this fast in delivery. And then here he is. Everything's all done. All his paperwork's done. All the stuff is all done. And now he just has no time. He's just kind of, he has all the time in the world, is exact sort of. And now he's just thinking about, going to the beach. And oops, this guy, he's a little too much AI on this guy. He's all pumped up, but he likes it. He likes the AI. He likes what it's doing, and he's ready to go. And he says, "You want to compete?" I'm like, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. So let's grow. We want to learn how to grow. So in any business, it's important to grow, and especially in the hospitality restaurant business, you're either moving forward or you're moving back. You're not staying stagnant. Here's another funny story. I thought the other story was relatively amusing, but here's another one. So here it is. This is me. This is me probably 2.5 years ago looking at a computer screen. I know nothing about computer screens. And I am I have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic, some pretty severe. Words just don't look to me the same way they look to anybody else, so this is, I wish I could write, so that's pretty much how I would write it. It's just really, really, a challenge for me all my life. And so here I am. I'm like, okay, I need to take on technology. I need to get into this world because the digital world is very powerful, and that's where the whole world has been leaning. And I can't, I can't not be experienced at it. I need to understand this. So here I am. I take on artificial intelligence, which was introduced to me December 2022, and it's just extreme. It's blown my mind. I'm extremely smart now. I mean, do I sound smart? I sound a little smarter anyway. But AI, artificial intelligence, will help you no matter where you are in your journey of life or journey of technology. It will help you step by step, as slow as you want to go or as fast as you want to go. So here I am now. I'm a well written. I can do all kinds of great writing and paragraphs and so on. Whatever you need to do, I can do it. And that all these equations are nothing to me. I can bang these things out in a second. And I've also saved thousands of dollars using artificial intelligence. I was doing a project with copyright law, and I really needed to know all kinds of stuff about copyright law, and they can be very expensive. The one that I was going to talk to was like $1,000 an hour. But I had artificial intelligence really sort of, test me and give me all the information, all the things I needed, and we went through all kinds of stuff. And so my first phone call with the attorney is like, I'd like to talk to you about, what I'm thinking of doing with this certain project. And I said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking. Blah 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 blah. All developed through artificial intelligence. And he said, yeah, all that. You seem like you're on the right track. I'm like, okay, well, thank you very much. I don't think we need each other, but I really appreciate your conversation, and I'll see you later. And he's like, you're welcome. But if I was some guy that didn't have the artificial intelligence, he would have actually taken me through that whole process, and he would have made a shitload of money on that, just doing the process, doing what he does. But fortunately for me, I saved probably $3,000 right there. And then so now, because I love my family and my friends, and that I've been, increasing my skill sets and skill levels. I go to parties. When I go to parties, I'm like, I'm like, hey, everybody, have you, seen this new thing, this artificial intelligence thing? This stuff is pretty powerful. It's coming. I'm like, hey, and then everybody looks at me like, oh man, here he is. Please don't talk about this stuff. Please, it just scares me. I mean, I'm like, oh, like, you don't understand. I mean, it's just really helpful. I mean, it's just technology. I mean, I know it. It's I know it's scary. I'm scared. Trust me, I'm scared. But the things that are happening, and we can't change it. I'm like, I just want to have a conversation. So nobody wants to talk to me, and I understand. And you might be, as you're listening to this right now, you might say, I just don't like. I don't like the idea of artificial intelligence. And trust me, I don't like the idea of artificial intelligence as well. I'd rather go back to the '80s and enjoy the '80s and all that, where we just didn't have any of this stuff. But it's here. It's happening. So it's like some, things are coming over the mountain and they're coming after you. You just kind of like, hey, my name is Colin. Nice to meet you. Don't hurt me. Let's learn. Let's work together. So anyway, so I go to parties and do all this kind of stuff. And one of my, the houses I go, that my friend used to help me with writing and all the things when it comes to, writing and spelling and paperwork and all that. So I found it funny. So this was the next, I'm like, so I'm sitting at home and I get a call from my friend. I'm like, oh man, Colin, please, you got to help me. I need this right. I need this letter written. It's got to go to the state. And it's just overwhelming. I'm not exactly sure how I want to put it together and so on. So I'm like, okay. So you're right now calling the kid with dyslexia that you help with all my paper writing. You want me to do it? Yeah. Can you please help me? You use that AI stuff. You're really good at it. Can you just do that? I'm like, okay, no problem. I got it. And so I had it all taken care of for him, written and sent off to him before he actually got to his location. And I just find it interesting. In those are one of those moments, and everybody's going to have moments where I was like, okay, well, this stuff does have some impact for sure. And so here it is, people, and this is somebody said this on a podcast, is technology is undefeated. And you got to really get that in your brain. Technology is undefeated. So it's not like something like, hey, I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm just going to beat it up. It doesn't, it wins. The steam engine won, electricity won, all that kind of stuff. It just wins. And so it's okay that it wins. I mean, and again, you may not agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with it or a lot of it. And I hate to see, I mean, God rest his soul. My brother was, an animator for The Simpsons, and he was an artist, hand drawn. And I've experienced it right myself, and, my father was an animator and all done things hand drawn. And then computer generation came across, and then people doing things, graphic designing on computers. And my father would say, I don't know how to use a computer, but all these people that know how to use computers, they don't know how to design. And my brother, same thing when he was doing The Simpsons, all hand drawings and stuff. And they said, no, we're going to go to computers. And he passed away before this, but he would be beside himself. He's probably, and I understand, The Simpsons, I could do The Simpsons show right now all by myself. with artificial intelligence. It's sad. It's kind of disgusting. We didn't ask for it. It's here. We got to embrace it. We got to use it as a tool, and we can't go around kicking and crying and so on. It is what it is, and it's just sad to see that stuff. I'm experiencing it myself. I'm experiencing it with family and friends. I had a friend just lose his job as a game computer developer. So this is what's happening. But those who are sort of embracing it and saying, "Okay, I got to really wrap my brain around this and take it seriously," is going to really succeed and succeed well, and also help those who don't succeed with it. So sorry for going off that off the path a little there, but this is some serious stuff, and I want people to sort of take it serious. I don't want people to sort of say, "Well, this sounds like a cool little trend. I'm going to be on to the next thing." This is the next thing, and this is going to be the thing all the time. So like I was saying before, and if you guys were around me, if this was an actual, person to person, a human to human, they call it, seminar, I would have the people in the audience ask me about these icons and what do I use it for. And let me try to get a little ball going around here. I got it. So this obviously you can use it for emails. I'm just going to fly around it. I mean, but I can get in so much more detail here. It's for training. You can train people, menus. I can do, I can write menus. I can have it, look at somebody else's menu and then adjust my menu according to their menu. I can have it give me recipe cards based on that menu. I can have it give me recipe cards and, and do it in Portuguese, Spanish, English, anything that, my cooks are doing, so on. Uh, excuse me, ratings. I can have it, comments to people that have reviews and said better reviews. I can have it read all my comments and give me what I'm doing well, what I'm doing poorly, anything I'm doing poorly. I can have it give me action steps for my management team to actually try to get ratings up higher. Here's again this one right here. It could be recipes. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but writing tasks. I can have it give me something at 7 o'clock in the morning. I want you to email me something to talk about on my podcast every day at 7 o'clock. Give me some ideas, projects. I can work on projects and we can work through things. This is image generation, which, like I said, with that pretzel, we regenerated the pretzel. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can stick an alien on the pretzel if I wanted to do music. All these things are very sad too, so image generation for photographers, music. I can have any song. I can come up with the lyrics and make any music, and you won't know the difference with the songs. And it is sad when you have musicians, but I think at the end of the day, after all this stuff is happening, people are really into this kind of thing. Is the power is going to be the power of people and people coming together, people to people. So that's again that's my logo right here. Let me just kind of get a full fledged of myself. So here's myself, and this is my logo. And those are people. The people are enjoying themselves. They're jumping for joy and they're coming together. If I flip my head, there's another person. They're all people coming together. So that's my why. That's my purpose. And I bring people together. I've been doing it. I'm addicted to it. So let's get back to this. Videos and research and drink recipes and and even legal, like we talked about the lawyer, the copyright lawyer. So I can have it teach me. I can have it read contracts. I can have it read insurance work, all kinds of stuff, user manuals, and so on. It just goes on forever. So you can really do anything you want with it. So more good news. There's more good news to this whole thing, people, and I really hope you're taking what I'm saying seriously because there's just more good news and you could call it bad news, all the stuff that I just said. But that's not going to change, and it's so let's talk about the positives and think about the positives. The more good news. So it's a thought leader. So it's right beside you. It's a partner. You are, a thought leader. I'm sorry. It's a thought partner. I'm the thought leader. That's me. That's my AI generated view of me. You might think it's pretty close. I'm looking at the bottom right, me talking on the microphone and looking at that guy. Can you tell the difference? I can tell the difference because I know what I look like, but I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. Looking real quick. But anyway, you are the leader of this whole thing. It's a tool and it's your thought partner. So as you're sitting there working and doing things and you have an idea, there's a thing. It says like, it's like, how can I do this? How can I fix this? How can I blah, blah, blah. You just put an A into that whole sentence. How can AI help me? How can AI do this? That kind of stuff. So as a partner in your, circumstances, if you throw an A in there, then it can be a lot more powerful. And you don't have to use all the suggestions. It can maybe steer you into a different direction. It can steer you in a positive direction. It can also steer you into a negative direction. But that's it. You're the leader. It's the thought partner, and you want to use it as a partner in the things you're doing. So whenever you're doing something, you say, well, how can AI do this, or how can I do this? But just throw the A in there, and that becomes your partner. So it's overwhelming. You see all the stuff that we went through, and the person that didn't do AI, and me on the computer, and the paperwork, and all that crap. And it's like, I'm bad at technology. I have no idea how to do technology. It's just intimidating. I don't even have time to do technology. And the bottom line is that AI can help. It's got this. I mean, when it got it, it's really kind of got this. And I get blown away every day when I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, wow, my God, it's really good. So the future is, and the future can be here. It can be now. You can have your AI agent. Like, did I pay my Cisco invoice? Yes, you did pay your Cisco invoice. Here it is. It's right here. Well, thank you, Bob. Hey, what are my sales Monday? Did I have some sales on Monday, and what were they? And were they down from last year? And I'm like, okay, well, if I want to bring them up, can you give me some action steps on how to make my sales better? And also, I haven't got time for it. So can you email those action steps to my management team? And break it up evenly. Give some to John and some to Mike, and a couple, and Betty's coming in. She's new. Maybe throw her some of those action steps too, and have them all come together and make my Mondays better. Okay, I got it. Bob's got that. How about, I'm like, oh, and while we're at it, I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry to interrupt you again. Can you, order me some day dots and half pans with lids? I'll take 4 half pans and, I don't know, a couple stacks of day dots. Yeah, sure, no problem. I got it. Oh my God. Okay, Bob. Here. I am again. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. And I don't want to piss you off. I mean, I feel sometimes like I'm overworking you. Hey, man, you're not overworking me. That's Bob. That's Bob talking. Could you make sure that I understand all my competition that's going on around me, every single thing that actually puts food in their mouths. Actually, no, we'll do full service restaurants that have liquor. So let's break it down to that. But I want to know what kind of volume they're doing. I want to know what kind of entertainment they're doing. I want to know what kind of ratings they're getting. Like, if they get a rating, like a 3-star rating, 4-star rating, I want to know. Like, notify me that they had that. I also want to know, out of all their ratings and all the things they're doing, compare that to mine, and then make mine with mine. I would like you to come up with some action steps to make me be better than what they're doing. I don't want to beat up I don't want to take business away from them. I just want to make sure that we're doing a lot better than they're doing, as far as all the things that in the digital world. And I can give my management staff some action steps on how to be better. Yeah, no problem. I get it. And Bob, I know it's me again. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm giving you so much stuff. But my insurance policy is coming up, and you know how I hate reading insurance policies, but it's important that we obviously have an insurance policy. And so, could you look over my insurance policy and make sure that it's, whatever, that it's adequate? And then I'd like you to kind of go scan the internet and sort of see anybody that's comparable to that, and then sort of get me some bids on insurance, because I think I'm paying too much, and I want you to I want to get your opinion on how all that's working. Oh man. So now I feel like I just overwhelmed Bob, my AI agent. And I gave him all this stuff because I want to go to the beach. I mean, I'm busy, man. I want to go to the beach and enjoy myself. So Bob doesn't, he doesn't worry about it. I mean, this is nothing. Like, you got all this kind of stuff. So he's doing your social media, he's doing your insurance, bidding, he's ordering stuff from you, he's doing inventory, he's doing all these things. So all this stuff is happening, and you're like, man, oh man, I am just overwhelming this thing. This thing is going to burn up and blow up. I'm like, no, he's got it, no problem. He's actually going to probably right now. He's trying to cure cancer, and do some protein folding as well with some scientists. So I got this, not a big deal. The stuff that you got me, I wish everybody gave me that kind of stuff. I'd be able to rest. So all this stuff is going to go to your AI agent. This will all be happening, within the next 5 years for sure. And are you prepared for it? That's all it is, your strategy for that. So give Bobby all this stuff. And so this is what you can do, and this is the good news, and if you don't want to think that this is the reality of it, then you don't have to think that this is the reality of it. And it's important that you make your own reality, whatever that's going to be. But this is a definite strong possibility that this is going to happen. And at the end of the day, this is the most important thing. So you can just do this. You can be an analog business. You can do what we do best, and that's greeting customers when they come in, be on them, and talk to them, and and actually say hi, how are you, and embrace people because people are going to want to be around people. So have Bob do all the crap that we don't want to do, the 80% that nobody really wants to do in the hospitality industry. And then you can focus on the 20% in really embracing the customers, and they'll be a lot happier. Humans need us. So again, I'm a AI person. I'm powered by I'm not AI. I'm powered. Well, AI. I'm like I don't want to confuse anybody, but I am powered by AE, which is authentic expression. I am an AI expert, which is applying innovation, and I'm pretty well knowledged about AI, which is artificial intelligence. But anyway, humans are going to need us. They need us now more than ever. And it's very interesting on how the social society is becoming, and we need to bring people back together, just like my North Star, my purpose. That's all I ever want to do is bring people together and have them have fun. So again, so let's finish this up with us. When we need to learn, try out the artificial intelligence. We need to prepare. So start to think about your data sets, and you need to grow. You're either growing or you're not growing. So you're either moving forward or backwards in this world, and the world is moving really fast forward. Don't be this guy, I mean, you can be this guy and you're walking around and I'm like, oh man, I don't need a cell phone. Who needs a cell phone? And then you're stuck in the desert, your car broke down and now you're crawling over here. You see this, in a cell phone. I mean, actually a payphone in the desert, which is very shocking. You know what? There's one, so you didn't need a cell phone, but you're going to walk up there and you're going to realize it, takes dimes and all you have is credit cards, so don't be the guy, just really sort of embrace this technology. So again, what's your strategy? Stop, think about it. Say, hey, what is my strategy? How am I going to take on what this new technology is coming our way? I think it's very important. And if I gave you anything, hopefully I didn't scare you too much. I wanted to leave you with some hope. So extraordinary concepts, and this is the AI digital strategy. And I appreciate, if you had any questions, if you were sitting around here with me, I would ask you questions, but you aren't. So if you do have questions, you can leave them in the comments below. I'm new at this YouTube stuff. So you can like, subscribe, all that kind of thing. I'll be putting on more. Here, let me get my face up here. Hey, here I am. Sorry about that. I'm like you're talking to my logos and my questions. So again, my name is Colin Wilcox with Extraordinary Concepts. You got to put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. I really want you to really embrace what I just went through. I know the beginning part was scary. Hopefully, the last part was a little more motivational and encouraging for you. And if you have any questions, please leave comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And we're on this journey together. So let's apply innovation, people. This is just another tool. Don't be scared, and let's work together. So hopefully you can watch my next video, which would be the digital workspace. Which is the digital world, which is also scary, but I have ways of using strategy to help you with that. So thanks. My name is Colin Wilcox, and I'll see you at the next video.